Hello guys, my name is Khan, and actually in today's video I will discuss you guys that how you can make loops in R, and I will also go through a different ways that you can use loops, and I will show you guys that how using a loop can make your life easier instead of doing the same thing again and again. So this is the loop file that I have that I've already made for you guys. I will open it first. Actually, this is the code that I am using. I will maximize this code in a separate window so that it will be easier for you guys to see. So I'll go to my first line. I'm just going to zoom in the code so that you're able to see the code more easily. So actually this is the folder that I am using for this code file. So I'm just going to make this folder as my working directory, and after that probably I will be using this CSV data in my code. So I'm just going to import that data set, and I'm saving it in a data1 object, which is a data set. So I'm just control enter. If I go back to my console, you can see that I have data1 in my environment now. I will go back. So firstly I will go by creating a very simple loop. So in that loop what I am doing is that I'm creating a sequence that suppose I'm making a one local within that loop I, and I'm saying that I can take values from 1 to 10, and I'm saying that I will increase by 1 in each time this loop will run. So the first time the loop will run, its value will be 1. It will come here if the I value will be called, which will be 1 first time, and this print function will print the value of I in this console. So, and once this loop will end, it will go back and will now in the second iteration the I value will be 2, because I'm saying that increase the value by 1, and then it will print 2, and then 3, 4, 5 and till 9, and then in the end it will print 10. But once it will print 10, it will go back, but when it will check, actually the 10 is the maximum bound. So if when it goes above 11, the loop will finish and it will go further in the code lines below. So I am just going to execute my code till the number 17. So control shift home and then enter. As you can see that R have printed 1 2 3 4 5 6, the values that I have told in the loop, that I can be from 1 to 10 and it's increasing by 2. But suppose if I want to increase it by 2, so now we'll see how the result will get changed. As you can see, 1 3 5 9, it didn't printed 11 because 11 was above 10, the maximum bound. So this is one of the way you can use you can use loops in the R, but this is just a very simple example. Loops can be used in a very, very complex situation. The loops can be used within the nested loop. Nested loops mean that 2 or 3 loops together. Probably in my later videos we will discuss the nested loops too. So after that I will show you guys another example in which what I am trying to do, that I am firstly suppose if I want to create a variable in my data1, which is the data object I've just created, and I want to capture the serial number of each row. So the serial number means that the first row will be labeled as 1 in that variable, second row will be 2 and 3 and so on. So in order to do that, first what I am going to do is I'm creating a new variable in data1, I am calling it serial number, and then I am, by NA means I am just assigning missing values, so that there is no data in it. NA means there is that the data is missing in that variable. So if I execute my code till line number 23, Control Shift Home and then Control Enter to execute the code. And if I go back and if I browse my data, as you can see that R have created a new variable, and that variable is all missing. But now I want to assign values within that serial number, and those values will be like 1, 2, 3. In like each observation each row will be labeled by its row number. So in order to do that, I am making a loop, but before making a loop, I'm creating a one local, and I'm calling that local A. But what this local is doing, that is capturing the total number of rows in data 1. So if I go back, if I say nrow, and then I will say my data name is data 1. So you can see that R have returned that in this data structure I have 74 rows. In the same way, you can also calculate how many variables I have in this data. So you will use ncall and then again data 1, and if you press now, R is telling me that in this data 1 data frame I have 13 variables. So now I'm coming back to my loop. So now I'm creating a loop, and I'm saying that I'm creating a local within this loop I, and I'm saying that I will take values, and then I'm using a sequence function, and the sequence within the sequence function I'm saying that I can take the value from 1 till A. The A will be coming from this local that I have just defined above in line number 25, and then I'm saying that I will increase by 1, and after that, when I'm starting this loop, in that loop I'm saying that in this data 1 data frame, go to serial number variable, and within the serial number variable, now you guys have to note that I have used these two brackets, and within those two brackets I am saying I. So I1 means that go to, so firstly you have to learn what this operation is, what does it mean, what I'm trying to do. So first I'm telling the R, go to data 1 data frame, then I'm saying after $, I'm saying after that go to the serial number variable, and within these brackets I'm saying go to I rows within this variable. So the first I will be 1. So if I go to my data frame, so when I will be 1, it will come here, and then after that R will assign that cell the value of I, which will be again 1, and when it will be 2, R will come into this row in this cell and then assign 2 to this cell. So if I execute my code, hopefully the values will get updated in this variable. So I am going to execute my code till line number 34 and then enter. As you can see that R have updated my data 1, and my serial number variable also get updated, and it have now the serial number for each row in it. So as you can see that by using that loop, how easily you have assigned the values. Otherwise you may have to update it manually, which will be very cumbersome to do, especially if you're dealing with very huge data sets. I'm going to close this window, and after that I'm going back to my code now. So in the above example, whenever in both of my above example, when I'm making some object I, firstly, it's not necessary that you have to call it I. You can call it anything. Suppose you can call it CC triple C, but make sure that you also update CCC here and then CC here. So you can call them by you can name the local whatever you like to name, but I usually call them I, J, K. It's more like a habit that I have to call them mostly I, but you guys can call that local within the loop anything that you like. But another thing that you have noticed that within those above example, I have always using I as a numeric. I mean that I was taking the values of 1, 2 or 3, but it's not necessary that I always take the value of numeric value. I can the local within the loop can also take string values. So as in this example, I will show you guys that what I'm doing. I'm making a loop, and then I'm saying that execute this loop for I in, and I'm creating a one vector, and in this vector I'm creating strings. So first string is my, then whole name is Khan, and then smiley face. So actually in this case, because this vector have 5 strings in it, so this code will get executed 5 times, and each time I am printing the string I is capturing. So let's see if I execute this code, what R do, enter. And as you can see that R have executed this loop 5 times, and each time R have printed the value of I. So you guys may have thought that why we are using print, why we are just not stating it I. But if you do that, probably you will not get any error, but R will not do anything, because when you are calling I, you have to use it in some function or computation. Using it like this will not mean that R will automatically print the values in it. Suppose, let's see what R do now. As you can see that R haven't done anything. R just printed the code, and after that haven't given me any output. So as you can see that R have printed the code that have executed but haven't given me output. But when I was using the print function, R not only executed the code but also have given me this output. So it's always good to use these locals in a function or in a computation. Simply writing I in a loop will not do anything. The next thing will be that I will be discussing with you guys is that that you can, within the loops, you can also, suppose if you need to print the variable names that your data have. So there is a very important function within R which can be used. Suppose if you are doing some coding and you need the variable names that your data one have, so you can, there is a very important function names, and then you will say data one. If you do that, you can see that R have made a vector in which it have assigned all the variable name that your data one have. So this is a very important function, but I will show you guys in a loop. So what I'm doing, I'm making a loop and I'm saying for J in names. So names, this thing will be a one vector. So, and each time this loop will execute, it will go to the first part of this vector, first make, then price. So it will execute this loop 13 times, and then I am so if you're just saying it J, it will not do anything. you have to say print j to print the value of j in my R console. So if I execute my code till the line number 56, Control Shift Home and then Control Enter, and if I go back, you can see that R have printed make, price, MPG in each iteration. It have printed the variable names one by one. Now, before telling you another use of a loop that you can use, how you can use a loop to do data manipulation. But before that, I will show you guys that whenever we need to browse our data, we can just simply go here, click it, and then you can see your all data. But when you click it here, the R will show you all the variables, all the rows in your data. And also you can just do this by writing this view command, view data1. But what's about if you don't want to view all the data sets? Suppose if you just want to view the make and the price variable. So in that case, because sometimes we have huge data set with 200 or 300 variables, in that case, viewing all the variables in one go will be very it will not be useful, because there will be so much information on your screen. So sometimes we need to view or browse our data for selective variable. In that case, what you can do, so within that view function, so suppose if I just want to view make and price in my data1. So after mentioning the data1, I am using these two brackets. The thing before comma is for that if you want to view for the number of for rows that you want to view, but I want to view all the rows that I kept them missing. And after the comma, I am mentioning the which variables that I want to view. So I want to view two variables, so I'm making a vector in which I'm telling make and price. If I execute this code, the R will probably will show me all the rows, but only data related to make and price. If I enter it, you can see that R have executed, just showing me the data in two rows. But if I go back, so in the same way you can implement different criterias. So suppose if now I want to view just the first 10 rows in my data for make and price variable. So now you have to see that within this view function, I am calling my data1, and then I'm using these two brackets. And within these two brackets, first before the comma, I am telling the number of rows which I want to view, which is from 1 to 10, and then I'm making a vector in which I'm mentioning the variable name which I want to view. So I can do this. As you can see that R is now showing me only the first 10 observation data in make and price. Actually 1 ratio 10, if you press it here, then R it's a more easy way to make a vector which will be increasing by 1. So suppose now I will tell you guys that suppose you want to view the data, but you want to view the data with a if condition. That just suppose if you just want to view the data if the make name is AMC Concord. So in that case, I will be using a function named as subset. So first I'm using a function view, and within the view function I am using a subset function. So as you can see, the first view function, and then within the view function I'm calling another function which is the subset. After the subset, firstly I'm telling that which data set I want to view. I said show me the data 1, but only these two variables. Here I am not. Here I am saying show. I am saying get all the data 1, but only for make and price. But after that, after this comma, I am specifying the condition that show me the observation where the make is equal to AMC Concord. So if I do that, when I enter it, you can see that now R have shown me only one observation, because in data 1 AMC Concord appeared only once, and the price was 4099 for that. So this is a bit overview about how you can view data, how you can use if condition if you want to view a specific data, and how you can view only the selective variables in R. But now I will show you that how you can use loop and how you can use loop in order to manipulate data. I told these commands above so that it will be easier to understand the example that now I'm going to give you. So suppose I'm if I go back to my data, so in data 1 I have one variable which is rep78. Suppose if I want to export data based on rep78 variable. So first I'm going to tabulate that what rep78 capture. So actually it will give me an error because I haven't mentioned the data $. So as you can see, R is saying me that rep78 have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values, 1 appearing in 2 observation, 2 appearing in 8 observation, 3 in 30, 4 in 18, and 5 in 11 observations. Suppose if I want to export my data set for, suppose if I want that R makes us one CSV file just when rep78 is equal to 1, and make a separate CSV file when rep78 is equal to 2, and so on. So in that case I can use a loop instead of doing it manually one by one. So what I am doing is that I am saying write.csv, and then after that I am saying subset. So I'm using a subset function because I want to export a section of my data 1. So I'm saying subset data 1, the data 1 that I want to export, but after the comma I'm specifying what should be the criteria. I'm saying that only export the data 1 if rep78 is equal to I. The I will keeps on changing with each iteration, and I'm executing this loop 5 times only because rep78 maximum value is 5. And then I'm calling the file name as I, and here actually this is wrong, but I will give you that. Here I'm trying to call the local I value within the inverted commas. If I do that, probably I will get an error because I cannot call the, because what I'm doing is that I want that R gives each file a separate name. So it will give rep78.1, rep78.2, and it will create 5 files. But if I do that, what will happen? R will not make 5 files. R will just make 1 file, because and the last file will be having just the data for rep78.5, because whenever R will execute the code, the file name will remain this, and each time R will replace the previous file it have created and will take and will save only the last file, which will be for rep78.5. But as I said that I need all the files. First I will show you guys what it will do. So I'm just executing the code till the line number 92, then enter. If I go to, as you can see, R haven't given me any error. So, but if I go to my folder, my working directory, you can see that R have created this file rep78i, which is not right. Actually, I will go here back. Actually, I want to create a CSV file, so I'm just mentioning .csv. So probably now I will be able to see a CSV file. So I don't want these windows to open, so I'm just closing them. And if I go to my working directory now, you can see that R have created one CSV file, not 5 CSV files, which I want. And the last CSV file, this CSV file is just for the rep78.5. So how to resolve this issue? In order to resolve, and these files are written now. So in order to do that, we will be using a new function, paste function. This line is wrong. So in order to do that, I will be using a paste function in write.csv. So this line will be till this part, everything is same as above. So I am saying write CSV subset, and then I'm saying subset based on the rep78 value, whatever the I value will be. But after that, when I'm mentioning the file name, I am using a function paste. So first I will tell what the paste function. Paste function will always return a string. So, but within that string, we will, with the help of paste function, we will be able to use the value of local. So what this paste function will do, so first for I is equal to 1, it will come here, it will make a subset when for a data when the rep78 is equal to 1 only, and then it come here and it will, the paste function will say that okay, the file name will be rep78 space, and then it will call the value of I, which will be 1. And then I am specifying the remaining string, because I also want to tell that file will be a CSV file. And here I am saying separator, because I don't want any further spaces between these things. So that's why it will be, and separator is equal to nothing. I'm not giving any value here. So instead of executing the code, first I will execute this paste command for you guys, that what this paste command do. So if I say paste, and suppose if I say d, so my separator is d. So if I do that, if I execute my code now, enter, I go here. Actually, as you can see, that paste command haven't returned anything. Actually, paste command will not have, because in order to return anything, you have to use print command with the paste command in order to print what paste command is capturing. So I will be using print command. Now you will be able to see what each paste command have captured. As you can see that after rep78 space, it have as I said, that in each string the separator should be space ddd. So it pasted ddd, then my I value, and then after each string it printed this ddd, but I don't want any separator, so I will just write it down like this. And now if I print it, execute my loop, you can see that R have printed these strings. So now if I come here in when I'm writing the CSV, I'm saying that paste this thing, and then I'm calling the value of I, which will be 1 in the first execution, and 2, 3, 4, so on, and then my third string part, because I want to name my files as rep78 space 1.csv, then so on. So now if I execute this whole code, then let's see what will happen. So as you can see that R haven't given me any error and everything went well, and hopefully now we'll be having 5 CSV file in my working directory. As you can see now that I have 5 CSV files in my working directory, and if I open it, for, as you can see, rep78 have just, for one, have just 2 observation. You can also double check it with by my table data $1 rep78. As you can see that 1 is appearing in only 2 observation. That's why in this data export I have only 2 observation. And then I can also check for rep78 5 file. I should have only 11 observation. So as I go to this data set, you can see that I have only 11 observations for this rep78 5. So this is a bit short brief overview how you can use loops in R and how it can make your life easy. Thank you for watching the video.